Welcome to another video.
Hey guys, and welcome to my video on the upsides of Chinese hospitality. Now, I got a slew of comments in my last video about the downsides of Chinese hospitality from people that were furious at me for including, the host, for filming him and putting him in the video, saying how rude it was. But I did it on purpose. That's one thing people don't seem to realize, is I, on purpose, included him in the video because I absolutely love that guy. And I'm going to explain to you why. Now, the main issue with the downsides that I was talking about earlier is the fact that you get trapped by this hospitality, and it's all due to face. Now in China, if you are invited to someone's house or invited to dinner or lunch or anything like that, to refuse is the biggest insult that you could give somebody. So if that guy said, "Come sit down and drink tea," and I said, "No, I'm too busy, I've got things to do," maybe you would say okay, but he would actually be very hurt by that, and that is part of the Chinese culture. It's incredibly rude to refuse somebody. So that's why, reluctantly, and I've had to over the years, constantly go places I don't want to go, eat food I don't want to eat, and trust me when I say eat food I don't want to eat, they force feed you like you won't believe. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about what I like about Chinese hospitality. So anyway, back to the guy, the host, who showed us around. What I love about Chinese hospitality, number one, is that people are willing to bring in strangers. Well, at least if you're a foreigner anyway. I don't think it works the same with random Chinese people, but if they have some even slight friendship or relationship with somebody, they will very, very, very gladly roll out the red carpet, as you can see, invite you into their house, share their food with you, and basically give you the royal treatment. And it's very genuine. And sure, it has a lot to do with face, and it has a lot to do with showing off and all that kind of nonsense, but at the core of it, it's very, very genuine. By the way, there's a massive typhoon coming in at the moment. This is supposed to be the big one. All the schools are shut down and everything, and I'm out on the street trying to look for it, and as usual there's nothing, but it's probably just the calm before the storm. And yes, I have an umbrella over here. Okay, so back to it. Absolutely genuine. So the guy will, like you saw, let you sit in his house, give you his tea, and let you share in his food, try to show you the best that he can. And this is one of the biggest upsides of Chinese hospitality, is the genuine, absolute, genuine, positive kindness and generosity. So I'd like to relate to you a story, and the most recent one that really struck a chord with me is when we went on our Conquering Southern China adventure, the documentary that I shot with Sea Milk. I'm going to show you a quick clip, and then we're going to discuss it. So one of the stereotypes I've always tried to break through my YouTube videos is that China is actually an incredibly friendly and hospitable place.
欢迎你们到我们园园来。
非常感谢。
5个很美丽的美女。
谢谢。外面一起看一下吧。
好，我们去看。哇，感谢你。
他们一次出游，刚好我们也是出游，我们在路上一起就碰见在一起了。
不要钱了，
送给你们吃，不要。Even in this poor place, she refused to take my money. She ran and stuffed it in my little strap here.
一块教养颜色，还有一块银颜色。
哦，
对，都有。
What he said is you drink about 3 of those, you're gonna find a beautiful girl, and you're gonna last at least half an hour.
Being here so long and being able to speak the language and actually talk to the local people and experience all these different local cultures was something really special.
Now you see that village that was along the river the one with the beautiful stilt houses. Now, we'd passed that village, I'd passed that village before on previous adventures, but this is the first time that we decided, because now we were shooting a documentary, we decided, you know what, we've got to go in there and try and get some footage about what it's all about, see if we can speak to the locals. So that's what we did. So we rode our bikes in there, and we basically just got off the bikes. There are a couple of villagers who sort of came looking out of their houses to see what the racket was all about. And we just started talking to them, and you know, usual greetings and so on, and just saying how we found their houses really interesting, and would they mind if we take a look. Now, of course, it's all in the documentary if you want to go and see it, but you know, I'll tell you a bit more behind the scenes. So at first they seemed a little apprehensive, like wondering what we were doing there, especially we have cameras and everything. But once we started talking, they got over it, and they were like, sure, you know, there's not much to see. We're very poor here, but you're more than welcome. And this sort of old lady, and I presume her neighbor or daughter, slightly younger, sort of took us into their houses and let us look around and showed us everything, and showed us the most amazing hospitality. Literally sat us down, gave us some tea, and what I really liked about it this time, it was cold tea, because the last thing you really want to drink on a really hot day is a nice hot cup of tea, right? Anyway, they gave us some lovely cold tea, and they produced this sort of bowl of vegetables which they've been, you know, growing on the mountainside there. And you know, these guys are dirt poor, right? And this is what really struck a chord with me, is that these people who have absolutely nothing are still willing to show hospitality, share their food and drink with you. And it was an amazing experience. Now, what you didn't see in the documentary is before we left, I snuck some money in their little bowl of vegetables. Now it's quite funny though, because I did it, I thought I was very discreet, okay, because I'd stuck, I think it was 200 RMB into their bowl of vegetables, which for them was a huge amount of money, because none of them have work, they just kind of live off an agricultural system over there. So I stuck some money in their bowl of taro or whatever it was they gave us, very discreetly. And as we were leaving the village, obviously they discovered it and word spread, because literally as we were trying to leave, people were coming out of all the houses in the village, like left and right, all saying, hey, you want to come look in my house? You want to come check out my house? It was quite funny. Obviously all trying to grab a little of that cash. But, you know, that being said, back to the original point, is that without expecting anything in return, these guys were the most gracious hosts and the most hospitable people, and that is something that is very, I would say, well, it's obviously it's not uniquely Chinese, of course you get hospitable people all over the world, but that particular kind of hospitality to somebody who's completely foreign and different to you in every way is absolutely astounding and lovely, and that is one of the reasons I love China and always will. So that is it for this particular video. It is starting to pick up here, the wind. If this typhoon actually turns into anything, I will of course get some footage for you guys. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you found it informative. Please let me know in the comments, and as usual, you know the drill. Stay awesome. China is actually an incredibly friendly and hospitable place. It's not what the Western media generally makes it out to be.